little bit of a clearing here, so we're gonna get our acceleration now. I should pop it over into the sport mode. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a 2021 Nissan Rogue SV. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Tim Daly Nissan here in Murray for providing us with this Rogue. Check out the inventory in the link below. Let's get straight into the video. So under the hood of the 21 Rogue, we have a naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through a CVT automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 25 around town and then 32 on the highway, with power outputs being 181 horsepower and then 181 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the new Rogue SV. So first and foremost, I actually really like this new light design. I know a lot of car manufacturers are kind of doing something similar to this. It's kind of will be reminiscent of what like Kia does, for example, with their lights, or Hyundai, for example, as well. But I think it just looks really cool, especially the accent light right there. And then you've got the reflector lights just down below. And then you can see the Nissan logo actually doubles as a sensor, but you still get that signature little like smile here in chrome on the front, like what the Rogue has had for a while. So you can see last generation right there still has a little smile there on the front. And then I like here at the bottom, it kind of looks like a little skid plate there. It's just definitely unique and cool. Now coming around the side here, we've got two 35mm tires on 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. I absolutely love the design on these wheels. It just looks like teeth almost going there into the center. Just really aggressive and a little bit different. You can see you've got the plastic fender flares here along the side, and then you've got the molding all along the side of the vehicle. Obviously that adds a layer of protection, especially if you do take this off-road, since it's an SUV. And then you got like the little built-in kind of like mud flaps there, which another cool little thing. And then here's a quick look at what we can see of the front suspension. And then I think the mirrors are pretty cool because they've got like the black on the bottom, and then they've got the body color right there on the top. But other than that, here is your full side view. Now let's go over the rear here of the Rogue. So first and foremost, you can see you've got a bunch of floor mats here in the back, and then you actually have this little cargo liner here in the rear as well, which is just pretty nice. But picking this up, hopefully you guys can see there's the spare tire just underneath that little area in the bottom. Other than that, this is pretty typical for storage space of an SUV of this size, so nothing crazy happening here. Now let's finish things up with the rear, and I really like the rear of the new Rogue. So we've got these really cool lights here on the back, just like how they fit with this particular color, especially kind of like all melds together. I love the font that they use for Rogue. It just looks really good, looks a lot better than what it used to look like. But overall, you still get that like sleek SUV look here from the rear. Now let's go over the rear of the new Rogue. So first off, you've got this sunshade here in the back, which is pretty cool. I love all the soft touch over the door panel. It actually feels and looks really nice. I love the stitching that goes throughout it as well. And then here are the seats in the back. You can see really nice in terms of the material use, and I like the center part as well. And you can see here on the side, just really soft. But let's actually pop in. So stepping in, step in height, it's actually pretty easy to get in. I'm 5'11", I've got a good amount of headroom and legroom as well. You've got this little pocket here on the back, which is pretty neat. Couple of vents here in the rear, and then you can see just down below you've got a little USB right there, and pulling this down, got a couple of cup holders, so nothing too crazy, but that's the back of the Rogue. Let's go over the door panel here in the front of the Rogue. So again, you've got this really nice soft touch here all along the door panel with the stitching all throughout. Just feels and looks really nice. I love the material right here as well. Got all of your window controls, your mirror adjustments as well. And then here's the seat at the front, so you can see again more of that soft touch. And then you've got the continuation of that all throughout the middle portion as well. And then really nice with the bolsters. Here's your adjustment there on the side of the seat. And then we can see the pedal layout there at the bottom. And then this is just for the tailgate. We'll go over this in a little bit, but here's one more look before we pop in. let's go over the steering wheel here with the new Rogue. So the leather all around the steering wheel is actually really smooth to the touch, and you've got stitching there on the center. You can see it actually comes with adaptive cruise control. It also has blind spot monitoring as well. And then this is the lane keep assist. So obviously you can use that with the cruise control, so it pretty much drives itself. And then you can see you've got the controls for the center stack here, volume controls. You do have paddles on the back, so it's a CVT, so it doesn't have gears, but it does mimic having gears, so that's how it lets you manually shift. And then we can see you've got the little stock there for the lights and the turn signal on that side, and then the windshield wiper stock on the other side. And that is everything for the steering wheel. Here's the center gauge clutch. You can see you've got RPMs on the left side, you've got the speed over on the right side, and then you do have that screen there in the center that just gives you a couple different bits of information on the car. Pretty straightforward. Most modern cars have this. I love how you can have it be like a blank screen. For some reason my camera doesn't want to focus on it, but yeah, there's the center screen. Now here's the center infotainment system. First off, let's pop it into reverse. You can see the camera aspect of it. So you've got a backup camera with trajectory lines, nothing too crazy with that. And then you do get that little bird's eye view next to it as well, which is pretty cool. Obviously that's going to help out with parking the vehicle. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, it's really responsive in terms of the touch time. You can see that you press stuff and it all happens instantaneously if you actually press it. Sorry, I didn't press that. I always end up doing that in a review, guys. But anyways, really good infotainment system, really easy to use, really straightforward. Nissan has definitely brought up their game from an infotainment system standpoint. Now just down below, you can see we've got this nice stitching on the dash. You can see you've got all the controls for the climate controls. It is a dual zone climate. You've got your heated seats and heated steering wheel. And then in this area, you've got a couple of USBs and a 12 volt, the stop start button, and then you've got some extra storage right here. You could like hold your phone or something like that. Couple of cup holders, and you have the most interesting shifter ever. So you push the button, you push it up for reverse, you pull it down for drive. Pretty straightforward, but just how this feels, it's really hard to explain, but it just has a very unique feel, and it's very satisfying to put it into gear. The park, not so much, but like when you go into reverse or down to drive, you feel like you're doing something substantial. Like this almost feels like I'm pulling back on the throttle for an airplane. That's like the best way for me to describe it. It's really cool. But below that, you've got a little parking brake right here, your auto hold. And then we've got our drive mode select. So the drive mode select is just a dial. We've got the different drive modes. So you can pop it over. You can see you've got the snow, and then you have the off-road mode, and then you've got the auto, eco, and sport. So it's cool that they give you all these different drive modes. Obviously, it's going to change things with the drivetrain and then also with the transmission, depending on how responsive you want it to be, right? If you want it to be really responsive, then you go into the sport mode. But if you want to save on some fuel economy, then you go into the eco mode. Pretty straightforward. Now I've got the center console here, which just press that and it opens right up. Storage space in here is actually really good, especially for the size of SUV that this is. And I like how it opens up like that. It's pretty cool, but the soft touch on top of it, very nice. Definitely makes this feel a lot more premium. And then see you've got that all over the dash again, just looks and feels really nice. You can see the trim just down below as well. Now in terms of the glove box, the handle's just behind the little tag right there, but pretty normal glove box, nothing too crazy with it. I don't have much to say on that. Up top, we actually have a full panoramic sunroof. Now I'm just doing the shade, but yeah, it's cool that, again, this isn't like a fully top of the line crazy bad boy model. We still have a bunch of luxury features, but yeah, you can see it lets a ton more light into the cabin. You can do just the shade, or you can do the roof as well. And then you have the light controls up here as on top of that, and then the sunglass holder. Now I'm sure a lot of you are wondering at this point, how much does this new Nissan Rogue with this interior and all these options actually sticker for? So this particular Rogue in the SV trim with all the options it has, stickers for about $33,000 before any type of market adjustment. That being said, let's take this Rogue out and see how it drives. Well, let's quickly talk about visibility here before we set off in the 2021 Rogue. So first and foremost, over the hood, visibility is actually really solid. And then you can see both the mirrors. Visibility is really good, and you do have blind spot monitoring. And then here's all throughout the rest of the rear of the Rogue. So again, visibility is not an issue. I'm glad they have that window back there, because obviously that helps. You do have blind spot monitoring, but it's cool that they give a little opening there. And that all being said, well, let's set off with this weird shifter that I actually really like. So we are starting off here in the new 2021 Rogue, and first and foremost, let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. So from a ride quality perspective, this new Rogue does a really good job. I definitely put it a little bit above average in terms of ride quality compared to other vehicles in this segment. And then from a road noise perspective, I put it at average compared to other vehicles in this segment. It's about the same with that. Something to mention is these seats are so comfortable. So obviously this premium package is a little bit more than a regular SV. I definitely think it's worth it. These seats are obviously gonna be easier to clean compared to the cloth seats. But on top of that, these seats are just so comfortable. They're really soft, but just the way that they feel, especially on the butt region, it's just good. These are just, they're comfortable seats, guys. Brakes are really good here with the Rogue as well, and we'll kind of see how the turning is. The steering is exceptionally light. It's really, really light. I almost would say it's lighter than other vehicles in this segment. Like it's crazy how light the steering rack actually is. But in terms of the on-center deadness, there's not very much. So it's really light, but there's not a whole lot of vagueness through this steering rack. So it's actually pretty direct. It's just a good system in general. And the last thing that we'll talk about before we get our acceleration in just a little bit is just kind of how this does over bumps. I got these train tracks down here. I love using these for reviews. Yeah, it does a really good job. Doesn't upset the SUV or anything like that. And it's just smooth over them in general. And we'll kind of see how it does over this second set right here. Yeah, does a really good job over bumps. So before we get our full-blown acceleration, we're gonna kind of see what the handling's like in the body roll around this little portion right here. It's placed right around the Nissan dealerships, like perfect to test out cars. It's kind of funny. Yeah, so again, it's about average in terms of the handling. Like I said, the steering is relatively direct. And those brakes are good. If you guys are wondering why I keep doing the stopping like that, it's just because I'm trying to test out the braking, kind of see what the feel is with the pedal actuation and all that. But yeah, here on the Rogue, it's actually really, really solid. And looks like we got a little bit of a clearing here, so we're gonna get our acceleration now. I should pop it over into the sport mode. Yeah, that's good. So I'll pop it over into the manual mode and see how that does. This is such a responsive CVT. I am really impressed with this. Gosh, that is crazy. This is the most responsive CVT I've ever driven. That is phenomenal. Yeah, it's, I don't know, there's nothing I can really compare this to from a gear shift perspective. Most CVTs are a lot lazier with the shifts, and this is definitely a step above. Yeah, that's impressive. That is really impressive. And that'll actually get me into summing things up with the Rogue. So from a price point standpoint, I think this is a really good value, especially all the safety tech that you get. Now the looks are obviously subjective. From the exterior, I think it's just a cool kind of modern design. I wouldn't call it beautiful, but I definitely think it's unique and modern. The interior I think is really good, especially this premium package. Feels really upscale again for the price point. I mean, just over $30,000. So I think it's really solid from that perspective. And then just again, as like an overall package, I actually think this Rogue's a really good value. Like for 33 grand, all the stuff that you get, the looks and that transmission, how that transmission responded, just absolutely phenomenal. So I definitely think that if you're in the market for this type of SUV, check out this new Rogue. It is definitely worth a look. That is going to sum things up for our video on this 2021 Nissan Rogue SV Premium. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to Tim Daly Nissan here in Murray for providing us with this Rogue. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in that next video.